Hey, another video. And there's an expression in French that is qu'à chaque malheur quelque chose soit bon, which means let every negative thing that happened in your life be used for something positive, either a life lesson, and when you share your experience with other people, let that be like a warning for other people or how ways to prevent making the same mistakes, basically. So I started my YouTube channel in my healing journey, and while rereading my diaries, I see now in retrospect why I got sick. So anorexia, erythromyalgia, narcissistic abuse, and by sharing my story, it is not only to share awareness of this can actually really make you sick, and as parents, especially when you have a child that has anorexia, because a child doesn't get anorexia like that. It is often the child doesn't feel good enough. In my case, there was a competition between me and my sister. She would cry if I would outperform her. So I thought, I can't celebrate my successes because I don't want to make her cry. And yeah, she was 2 years older, so she also thought that she had to be first with everything and better in everything. And and then I, the younger sister, I wanted to please her. Of course, I wanted her to be happy. So I stopped my development and I stopped eating, and that made me very weak, but mentally pretty strong. But I didn't know that at that time yet. So actually stopped gymnastics at that time, and I picked up painting and drawing, and I started to study a lot more and excel at school actually. And the competition continued, and I knew that I wanted to have my own life. I didn't want to have this copycat, doing everything that I wanted, having everything that I had. And so I left for Canada to have my own life. Actually, I don't talk really about the role of the parents, but of course, you know that you have two daughters, both unique, and you should be able to celebrate both of them and not say that one is the golden child and one the scapegoat. But yeah, so I was the scapegoat. So I left for Canada. I was 19, so pretty young as well, and I got married there. And that, my sister, she was so upset because I'm married before her now. Yeah, it is amazing, but this I thought I leave her with my parents so that she can be in the spotlight. I just wanted to have my own life. But it's continued. And even years later, she would call me and say, "Hey, I'm pregnant. At least I will have children before you do." And of course, now in retrospect, I see that, the insecurities, but at that time I just thought like I'm never good enough, and no matter what I do, they will never be happy. And of course, also, I can only say that, I learned life lessons with this, and I also want to thank, the life lessons, because the narcissists in my life, they taught me that they showed me what I never wanted to become. And that my kindness was not to be mistaken for weakness. And that because they couldn't compete with me, and now they were out to destroy me. And that showed actually their own insecurities that they actually projected on me. And that me being different didn't make me less worthy. Even though they tried to mold me into whomever they needed me to be, they actually forced themselves back into my life. That caused a lot of trouble as well. I shared it in my book. I don't put that all online, but and that my independence was my biggest power against their devaluation tactics, and that me standing for the truth hurt their lies that were supposed to protect their pride, and that their labeling me as less than when confronted with my successes showed their panic of losing control over me, and their narrative, of course, in which they needed to be the hero, the superior ones, always. And that my knowledge of the truth even because of the proof of my diaries, they will deny all of that. They say they never make mistakes and stuff. And that them not taking accountability for their actions, that is no longer my problem. I refuse now to be their scapegoat, the garbage bin for their rubbish, and I no longer have to carry their burden, and I have God as my witness. And that's why I need to share my story, because I am not the only one. There are a lot of people in my position, and the suffering is not useless. You're stronger than you think you are, and learn from your mistakes. Do some studying about it, because I didn't know much about narcissism, but now I have studied it. It all makes more sense now, and you can be better equipped preventing this happening in the future again. So yeah, that's my view of today. Bye.